All right. Hi, everybody. This is the Community Connectivity Grant Committee meeting, virtual, being recorded on WebEx for the town YouTube station. And the meeting is Tuesday, May 3rd, 5:30. And our entire group, our committee is here except Jim Lampos. So that's Frank Pappalardo, Bonnie Reamsnyder, Eric Olson, myself, Mary Jo Nozel, and hopefully Jim Lampos will join us. The first selectman is not on yet, so hopefully he will also. Is there any public that I can't see? This new layout has me confused a little bit. Let's see, can't see everybody. There we go.
Layout didn't change on my computer.
Well, you probably do this a little bit more than I do. So, but I only have us here, so it doesn't appear that there's any public, so there's no public comment. So the next on the agenda is updates and next steps. I wanted to see if make sure everyone knew that letters to the homeowners went out on April 18th on the homeowners on Hartford Avenue regarding the restart of the project, and it went out to the people that needed to have some additional work done on their driveways. And copies of that went to the police because, as you know, at our last meeting, we were concerned that the police be notified in case these folks have to park on the street over the next few weeks. And the work got done. I think I sent everybody some pictures. They did do a lot of the work in the transportation hub. A couple weeks ago when they started, I got a note from the contractor asking if we had any telephone poles around. I asked Tim to check with Public Works. I sent a second message. I haven't heard back from him. So I do not know the status of that. So maybe one.
I have a question about that when we talk about that. I don't want to talk about that now.
Okay. I also had asked him to see if he could mark the property line between the transit hub and the property owner on the eastern end of the project. And I had received a note back saying that BSC would talk to me about it. I haven't gotten any discussion on that or any email back. And then the other update is the rocks, the delivery of the rocks from Mr. Giacaruso on it's not Edgeley, maybe it is Edgeley. I get those two mixed up.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So I need to get back to him too. So those are kind of my updates. Does anybody else have any comments on that? If not, we'll dig in. Telephone poles. Why don't we start there?
You know, I recall that the telephone poles were only going to be used for the four corners of the driveway. 3 poles, 3 things each. So I looked like he had enough poles to do that. He needs 3, 6. He needs 12 pieces of telephone pole. Should have gotten 12 pieces out of that whole package. So I'm not sure where all these telephone poles are going to.
I don't know.
What I'm thinking he might be confused on is that the rope fence,
Yeah.
that's not on telephone poles. Those are on 4x4 pressure treated posts. So, you know, what's the issue here is my question.
I don't know.
Also, I was under the impression, I think I recall seeing the photographs that the 3 pylons, you know, wrapped together, that the tops of those are at a slight angle. so that the water washes off and rather than setting on the top of the post and rotting everything out. And I looked at the other day and it didn't look like he cut any of those at a slight angle.
It's possible maybe they'll cut that like that when they install them, when they go
Yeah.
to install them.
It's possible, yeah.
They might have just been cutting them just to make it easier to move. But yeah, the pile certainly looked like a lot. And I wasn't thinking what you just said, Frank. But that makes sense with the 4x4s for the rope fence. So that's possibly what he's thinking.
Yeah, because I recall that the rope fence is just on 4x4s. Yeah. And the pilings, three pilings in each corner at different heights, wrapped with rope.
Yeah.
And I recall those being, Eric, I could understand cutting the top one at an angle, but it's going to be awful difficult to cut the other two because you're going to be bumping into the ones that are already posted there. Or maybe they'll do them as they put them up. So I don't know, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as they were installing them. They just rough cut them so they could pick them up easier to move around or, make piles. I don't know, but obviously we'll have to follow up with that.
yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up.
Hi, Jim.
Jim, you're muted.
I'm gonna pull up change.
Kids, how are you?
Hi, Jim. I'm gonna see if I can pull up change order number 5 and just verify. That information or that question. I can display this now that I've got it up. Share content. Okay. You guys see change order number 5 on your screen?
You can expand, enlarge that a little bit. My eyes aren't what they used to be.
I'm sure I can. I just have to figure out how to do it. I wish this was Zoom. I'm much get Zoom. This one takes me a little time to figure out.
On the bottom there, see it says plus minus?
Yep, that'll do it. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, hi, Jim. The question is, do we have any update on the telephone poles? And I hadn't heard back from anybody from Tim on that. And so I brought it up as a discussion point. And we were looking to see where the post and fence requirements of the plan are.
It says post and rope fence.
Yeah, that's not really helpful, is it? Well, there's one.
Yeah, and there's one on the other side too.
There's 2. There's decorative piles.
Yeah, it says decorative piles typical of 4. So that's the 4 that Frank mentioned.
All right, so that'd be 12
Yeah.
pieces.
And post and rope to me doesn't that I would bet you that's what he's thinking. He doesn't have enough and doesn't realize he needs to use 4x4s.
All right, let me go down to the rest of this. Let's see what he was given.
This is the piles.
I know.
right? They're the
Yep.
slight slant.
Yeah. Trying to bring them over. Yes, you're right. There's the,
Might have to make it smaller and go to a different section and then make it larger. Don't scroll over down on the
At the
bottom.
bottom, you see the lines.
Yeah.
There you are, right
There
there.
you go.
okay. Okay, doesn't say how many we're looking for, but there's the post and rope fence also
Sure.
to the right.
Okay.
And so here's the post and rope fence. Here's the decorative piles.
What does it say right on top of that?
Post and rope fence, yeah.
Post and rope fence, right at the top of the right-hand post on the post and rope fence. I can't see it. I think it says 4x4. Keep going to the right, Mary, or just expand that a little bit.
Oop,
Just drop
I
it
think you
down.
can go to the right on the bottom.
Long way.
well, I think that's as far as I can go where I had it. To
Okay,
the right.
open that up. Open that up to 150%. Drop it down.
Yeah. Getting there. Bike repair.
A little further up, Mary Jo.
Okay.
You're there. Go to the right now.
Thank you.
mean- Other way.
Left.
Here we go.
Left.
The other way. There you go. It's coming up.
A little more to the left.
Keep going. It's to the right of
Keep
bike
going to the
repair
left.
station.
There, straight up.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. I'm going to make it a little smaller again so I can see what I'm supposed to be doing here.
It's
All right.
That's the right page. Don't get
That's it.
back down. You went too far.
Right there. That says 8-inch
Ah.
wood post.
8 inch. So get these 8x8s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay.
So he needs to get 8x8s.
8x8s.
Yeah, I guess he was thinking probably the telephone poles, but
Well, the telephone poles are more than 8 inches, so
yeah.
8x8 wood posts.
yeah.
Okay. All righty. I will remind him.
You know, if that's the case, I mean, it's the only thing I could think of that's confusing, unless those poles were rotted and he doesn't have, 12 usable pieces.
I don't know. And unfortunately, they started without telling us when they were going to start until the day of. And we never
Are they
got
going to be there tomorrow? I could stop by tomorrow.
no idea. I have no idea, Frank.
I think it's supposed to rain, isn't it, tomorrow?
Yeah.
May not be there if they're working outside. Who knows?
But I will send this to them and remind them of what the change order says. But if you guys have any other, concerns, like Frank, let me know so that I can let them know. since
Yeah,
we're
no, those
meeting
are the only
monthly.
two things that I was, couldn't figure out.
Yeah, I think they probably, as you said, they probably were thinking everything was going to be made out of the telephone poles. I would think they have enough.
And it looked like it from the picture you sent that they should have had enough
Yeah,
from what was there, just in the picture alone.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I'm glad we started with that one. I'm going to leave this up in case there's any other questions. As you may have seen, they put in the bike racks and the bike repair station. They left some repair pieces in a little packet, screws and such, that they were hanging there loose. So when I drove by there yesterday and saw they had put everything up, I grabbed it, tried to drop it off at the police station. No one answered. So I'm not sure who should keep that. They're just pieces for maintenance, basically, on the bike rack.
Well, that's a good question, because wherever it goes, it's gonna get lost in the.
Right, it's very tiny. It's like 3 inches by 2 inches of a packet.
I'll ask Matt Weber tomorrow if he would mind hanging on.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
sent him a text saying I had this. I thought, but yeah, if you could follow up, that'd be good. I mean, they just could pin it to a bulletin board somewhere would work, so it wouldn't get lost. I thought it looked really nice. Anybody else see it?
Yeah, it looks good.
I have not had a chance to get down there this week, so I'll have to check it
I
out.
haven't seen it this week either, so.
Okay, I did take some pictures. I just haven't had a chance to send them to you, but I did send them to Rob though, because I wanted to make sure that they plan to get out there and check it all. So I will be sending this discussion on the post and rope fence, and the telephone poles, to both of them and copy. I'm going to just copy the whole committee on it. All right. Anything else on the transit hub? The property line, I don't have any update. I don't know if, Jim, you heard, we had been asked if we had asked them to see if they could flag the property line on the northeastern end of that corner there. And I had gotten an email back from the contractor saying BSC would talk to us about that, and I have not heard anything. Although I noticed they left a piece of concrete in that end of things. I don't know what that's supposed to be about. So I'll follow up with that too in my,
They should have pinned it, so I mean, that flagging it, just find a pin and put a post in the ground, put a stake there. It doesn't make any sense.
okay. And then the rocks. Jim was good enough to give us his thoughts on where the rock should go. And they're pretty good size. He made a nice write-up for us. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that? I think, Frank, you and Tim were going to meet and look at it.
Yeah, Tim and I couldn't connect, but I did look, and Jim, I gotta say, you're very detailed and analytical on the placement of these rocks. I said, holy smokes.
I know,
pass
I
by there
agree.
twice a day, 6 days a week, so I have time to think about it in my drive.
I just drove by, I said, gee, I think they look good over there. That's as far as I got. I think
Maybe
the,
maybe
I
a
was
little
just,
baked, yeah.
I was just looking at the southwest corner, Swan and Shore Road, somewhere in that vicinity. That looked like it would make a reasonable amount of sense for me. Somewhere placed 5-6 feet into the property.
Oh, Jim, with all of your excellent recommendations, you're probably going to have to be there when they place the rocks.
Sure.
That's going to be your
Compass,
job.
with a compass. I'll bring my transit down. You could use that too.
There you go.
Just tell us when, because I want to see this.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jim, what are your thoughts? I mean, again, yeah, I mean, we can talk about that a little bit more.
It really depends what they look like and what the shape of them is. Do we know how many we have?
We know we have 1 to 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So briefly, I mean, I thought right at the entrance would be good. I mean, southwest corner is fine too, on Shore. That would work. But I thought defining that sidewalk entrance up to the transit hub, and I put them on the left of the sidewalk just because when you're looking at the hub, the bus station, the shelter is on the right.
So
So
it's on the west side of the sidewalk.
yeah. So, and then with the directional stuff, there's just a lot of neat stuff we could do in terms of, since we have these rocks, we can talk about the geology, and there's all kinds of calendar sites in Old Lyme that are Native American. And I have photos of them. When you see them, they're really obvious because they're all pretty consistent. And if you go up to Mantinomo's gravesite in Norwich, it's a similar thing. That's a Narragansett site. And so you'll see it's got like the cardinal points marked, and then usually the cross quarters. And for whatever reason they use it. Some of them are grave sites, and some of them I imagine are just straight up agricultural use to determine this, coming of the seasons. So we could kind of approximate that if we have 3 stones, but we don't have to. It's just just an idea. I thought it might be neat if we just, in terms of placemaking, if at least one of them was marking a cardinal point.
Hmm. Jim, do you have those pictures readily available? Would it be possible to
I can
send them to us?
I can dig some up. Yeah, I can dig some.
That would be great. I'm just
yeah.
curious about that. I like that idea, and I like the idea of down the road having a little bit of a what do they call it? Like a little podium with a description.
Kind of like the Connecticut River, right by the Baldwin Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and over in Old Saybrook, they have some. I just think it's kind of nice when people are waiting, they can see that some thought went into this. They don't have to know it was only one person with the great thoughts, but
Unless
it's
they're
something
rock
to.
hound,
I'm just a rock hound.
Yeah. But and that's something we can do down the road, but
Yeah.
It would be nice to see the pictures because I'd like to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, that would be great, Jim. Yeah, when we were in Chicago last month, I walked through a park, the Chicago Historical Museum, and they did something similar with rocks, and they imprinted on the rocks pictures of local foliage and things that it looked like it was very simple, but it were really kind of cool, and people could sit on the rocks too. So
Right.
when you get your pictures, Jim, I'll add those to the mix too.
Thanks.
Okay, so do you think they will understand what we're talking about if I send that Jim's write-up to Jason? And I'll
I
ask.
think that Jim is going to have to be there. I think.
Yeah, I do too.
A lot of it is determined by how many and what the shape and size is too.
If you look at
What makes sense.
it's either 3 Edgeley or 3 Cutler, but they're at the end there. That house that's being built for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Those are the rocks.
Right. They're at the end of the driveway.
Yeah, on the driveway or in their backyard by their playset.
There's a lot of rocks there, Mary Jo.
Yeah, there's a ton of rocks. Yeah, I don't know which ones are ours.
They're all big. Well, maybe I'll email Jason and ask him if he could let us know in advance which rocks he's thinking of bringing our way. And then I'll see if he could let us know when they're going to move them also.
Uh-huh.
so that one of us could be there to kind of
Or,
point him in the right direction.
or maybe he'll let Jim stop by and take a look,
Oh, yeah, that's a good
you
idea.
know?
That's a
Would
good,
that work for you, Jim, sometime?
Sure, yeah, yeah,
Just, if he's there, just be able to walk and look at the rocks that he is bringing. And then you have a better idea before they arrive as to
Right.
what could
right,
work,
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send him an email, Jim, and I'll copy you on the email, Jim. And maybe you guys
Yeah.
can communicate if needed after that.
Yeah, so some of
that
them
would be
came
great.
out like slabs, and some of them came out more like erratic, so rounded, that I saw in his yard. So
Ah,
either one of those would work, but it would just be a matter of how they would be placed depending on their size and their shape.
okay, okay. Well, in general, if you could meet with him, if he can meet with you like
Yeah.
soon, I know I have full faith in your thoughts on this.
I would certainly defer to Jim's expertise in rocks over mine, so,
I would too.
Yeah.
I third the motion.
Okay, there's
spent a lot of-
consensus, Jim.
I spent a lot of time in open space in Old Lyme in our lovely town, so we can thank our open.
Good.
you've just been elected chairman of rocks, so there
That's all I ever wanted.
you are.
It's going to be great. So I was so thrilled when Jason emailed me again. I had kind of thought that maybe that wasn't going to happen. So that's exciting. Thank you, Jim.
Very.
Appreciate that. Okay. Before we move on to invoice, is there any other comments from the committee on the status of the work or next steps? Okay. We have a invoice for BSC, a small invoice for $100, non-eligible. Invoice number 914-8706 in the amount of $100, representing a half hour of work for, I believe, Rob Newton.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Bonnie. I have a second.
Okay.
Is that Jim? I think that was Jim.
It
Yeah.
was Jim.
That was Jim.
Any
Right.
discussion?
Yeah, what was this for? A half-hour work when, for what?
In March. I'm
Not
not really
eligible.
sure. I mean, that was when he was reviewing the project. He had some communication with Dan Levesque. I really don't know specifically. All I got, and unless, I thought maybe Tim may have gotten more. I just got what I sent to you all.
Yeah, not that $100 is, not a great amount over the whole scope of things, but the fact that they changed engineers and Rob had to come up to speed is not anything we should be held liable for financially or anywhere else. So,
I'm not saying he was coming up to speed. I'm just saying, I'm assuming he had interactions. I know he had interactions with our contractor.
Yeah.
He had talked with Tim, I think. I know he had talked with me.
About resuming the schedule and stuff like that, if I recall.
And he had to also redo, as you remember, invoice, or not invoice, but change order number 5. So I think a lot of it was more clerical in nature, Frank, but I actually think he probably spent a lot more than a half hour on it.
probably.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye. Frank, did you say aye?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it's unanimous. Thank you. I'm not sure that town hasn't even paid this yet, but I will let them know that we approved it. I never did hear back from Rob on re-invoicing us for the payment applications we turned down at our last meeting. So I would assume the next application we get from our contractor will be for most of the work at this point. It seems kind of silly to keep going over the same land territory at this point. Frank, I did not notice, but I didn't see any of the signage, the decorative posts up. Did you?
No, they haven't. They weren't up as of Sunday night.
Okay.
So I'll check again tomorrow.
Okay.
The two posts were not in.
Okay. All right. All right. I will go through the punch list unless you guys want to do it as a group. I'm happy to do that, but go through the punch list to see what's outstanding. The one thing I was looking for was the tree that was sort of crooked that Frank had noted. It looks like they moved that. They made it straighter. To me, it looked that way. And then the area on Cross Lane and Shore that needed some more soil. We felt maybe some more seed and loam and seed. There's some grass growing in there, but I can't tell if they did anything to it. So
I don't believe so. I looked at that the other day. It didn't look like they did anything to it. That's just grass from last year.
yeah, so I'm going to keep those things then obviously on the punch list. I thought the work they did on the driveways turned out really nice. I don't know if anyone else had a chance to look at it. I thought they did a really, really nice job. And I thought the work that they've done at the transit hub looks really nice. The new fence that went in on the northwest corner of the project, the homeowner sent an email saying they liked it. So that was nice to see.
It looked good, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I looked at the trees. They look pretty healthy to my eye, but I know they have to do a formal vegetation check that they plan to do in, I think they said June. So the other thing I'm going to make them aware of is that we have been asking for work schedule, which we never received. I do think we need to get that. We should have that. We also need all the warranties on all of the products that they're putting in. So we know when those warranties are up. And if there's a problem, we know who to contact. Any other thoughts? All right. Next on our list, we have to approve our meeting minutes of March 28th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Thank you, Eric.
Second.
Thank you, Bonnie. Any discussion? All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Thank you. Does anyone want to plan another meeting? Or should we continue as we're doing this?
I think that probably the next meeting is going to be close to the end of the project, just as, like maybe two more meetings, one prior to the end and then an ending meeting.
Could we just do 2 weeks and change it if they haven't made progress?
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. Now I know that Mondays are generally easier for Jim. So 2 weeks would be Monday, May 23.
That's a problem for me unless it's earlier.
At like the 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock. I have a commission meeting that night, so I'd like to get
Yeah.
out of here.
Uh-huh.
Time.
Jim, could you make Monday, the 23rd at 4?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Eric?
Yeah, that's fine.
Bonnie?
I think so. I may only have until 5 o'clock though.
Okay.
hopefully it'll be a quick one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, if something comes up in the meantime, if we have to have a quick meeting, we'll try and set that up. But otherwise, we'll plan on Monday, May 23 by virtual WebEx at 4 p.m.
Sounds great.
Okay, then I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Second.
Thank you, Frank. All in favor.
Aye.
Hi.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
Thank
night.
you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Eric, before you go, Eric,
Yeah,
still there?
I'm still here.
Trash can enclosures.
Okay, we're back there again.
Well, gotta use it or lose it.
Okay.
You give me a call sometime this week when we
Yeah,
get a chance, we go over that.
Yeah, during the day better, or what do you want? What's better?
Anytime, day or evening is fine with me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pull out the information I had. So that's somewhere in my office, and when we talk back, and then we can circle back to that.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Frank. We'll talk to you.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.